Hello, besties. How's it going? Welcome back to another episode of My Emotional Support Besties. I am here with my bestie, Tori.
And I'm here with my bestie, Reed.
Yo. That's me.
What's good?
Hi.
What's good? Hi. How y'all doing?
How y'all do? What's going on in here?
Oh, just recording this thing that we do that's called a podcast.
A podcast.
Can you imagine trying to explain a podcast to aliens?
Or just like to my grandparents.
Yeah, like a Victorian, you know, when they're like, oh, a Victorian child that'll send them into a coma, this would be immediate. You'd say one thing about it, and they'd, well,
I remember when I had to explain to my grandparents who they had never gotten a computer. Like they didn't, they stopped at VHS. No, they had a DVD player, but they never got a computer. They never had the internet or anything like that. They just chose, you know what, I'm good where I'm at. And out of college, I had to try and explain to them what like a social media manager was. And I was like, okay, so you know, like billboards on the road, I do like billboards on the computer.
That's a great way of explaining it.
Yeah.
Wow, that would be like a foreign language if you didn't have social media.
Right?
You're like, what?
Social media?
I'm kind of envious of them. I sort of wish I had zero clue of it.
I wish I still had a flip phone.
Dumb phone.
T9. Somebody was asking the other day, do you think if I gave you a flip phone right now, you could go right back into T9?
Mateo Lane, the comedian, was talking about this, and he said he used to get like random strangers on. He lived in Chicago, so wherever their public transport is, he'd take it to school. And he said he would get like every day, people would be complimenting him on how fast he could do it. And he's like, I bet if you gave me one right now, I could blow your minds.
What about you?
I didn't have texting till I had a smartphone.
Wow. I didn't have a T9 phone to start with. I had that one where it went like, it was called the Alias. It flipped up and it flipped forward.
Oh, yeah.
And so it was almost like a sidekick. It had the full, do you say QWERTY? When it's the QWERTY, like in terms of a keyboard.
I don't think I've ever said that out loud, but yes.
Okay, yeah. I say QWERTY in my head. Sounds like a bad word.
It really does.
Sounds like a slur.
It kind of does. A tech slur.
I hope it's not. But it had that like full keyboard on it. And then later on, I had a T9 phone. I think I could do it. I think it's, yeah. Give me a flip phone. Give me one day. I'll be back at a high text speed. Apparently
the BlackBerry's coming back.
Good. We need those.
I think we should get those. I think I'd feel like I had a pager.
Oh my God. Okay. I saw this woman online and she set up her phone. If you go into your like focus thing, what's that called? Like do not disturb.
Yeah.
There's an option to customize it. Okay. She made one that's called landline, where it just turns off all of her notifications except for phone calls.
Ooh.
And then you put your phone on loud. This is like so not revolutionary when you think about it. It's literally just like...
But I also love that there's a hack for it.
How a phone works.
Yeah.
But her goal was to reduce her screen time. And so she will put it on landline, put it in a specific spot in her house, and use it as if it's just a phone, and then have like given times. So I did that this weekend. Game changer. You know what? Bring back the landline. I would love a voicemail machine and a landline.
Here's the thing, though. I hate talking on the phone.
Yeah, I agree.
That means I'd have to answer it if that was the only way to get to me, so that no one would ever talk to me. So
I don't mind a FaceTime, but
hate a spontaneous FaceTime. If you want to hate me, do that to me.
If you want to hate me, I come for you.
Yep. It's where my sensory issues really come into play, because it dysregulates me. The second I say it, I go, nope, didn't plan for it, don't want it.
Yeah, I can see that. There's times I just ignore the call. But like if I'm in the mood for it, then I'm like, hey, how you doing?
Fair.
Like I like it.
I could do it back to some of us because I planned to do it.
It's kind of like how we agree that we love to send voice texts.
Yeah.
But we don't want to receive them.
Correct.
But now that I know that you can do that on 2x speed, that's pretty great.
Oh, game changer.
Game changer.
Game changer. But here's the deal. I also think that we've been conditioned to not like phone calls. I think if that was my only option to communicate, I would be right back in and fine with it.
You know what would make me like a phone call?
Huh.
A nice, heavyweight, like corded,
Yes.
old school phone. Like,
Yes.
and like the cord having that. Like, there's a certain like somebody needs to do an old phone ASMR. Like that sound and the weight and how smooth it is, and then the little buttons. God,
I'm into it.
They had so much spring behind those buttons.
Ooh.
I'd be on the phone all day, every day. I'd be wrapping the cord around my finger, just like, oh,
hell yeah.
hello. I'd be making appointments if I had one of those.
Yeah, and we could get a party line for the house, so only one of the 3 of us could use it. Well, and also in case the dogs had to make some calls, so 5 of us.
I love it. Wow. Yeah.
I love the idea of the dogs making a call.
They are constantly on the phone.
On a rotary phone with their little paws. Yes. I love that idea.
Oh my god.
Constantly socializing. It's what they're barking about.
They want to be
They're talking to the people outside. They know them.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
Actually.
I saw a Diablo and Corduroy interaction. Have we talked about this before? The crow in the backyard.
Yeah. Y'all, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but straight up, my dog has a full on, I think they're friends. I don't think they're enemies. They could be frenemies. I'm not sure. I think that they're friends, but a full relationship with a crow that I have named Diablo. And basically what happens is, how this all started, Diablo would wake us up in the morning because he'd sit, I think Diablo's a boy. He'd sit on...
He's giving male energy.
Yeah, I agree. He would sit on the roof right outside my window and wake husband John and I up all the time because he would be like picking out worms on our roof or something.
Moss or something.
And Cordy caught Diablo doing this once and starts barking out the window at Diablo. Well, flash forward, sometimes I randomly hear barking outside. When Cordy goes out, I look, Diablo's up on the roof. Cordy's down in the yard, barking up at Diablo. Diablo will take stuff, drop them into our bird bath, and then Cordy will run over to the bird bath, look inside it, and usually there's like some sort of like bone or wing or something. All very dangerous things too, Diablo. Can you please pick something that won't kill my dog? But then Corduroy like obsesses over it.
Leave
him
a flower.
I know, but I'm telling you, there is a symbiotic relationship between Diablo the crow and Corduroy.
It's funny because I saw him somewhere in the garden. I saw Diablo and I was getting ready to let the dogs out. And this is at like 7 o'clock in the morning too. So I was like, oh, they're at it early.
Yep.
Let him out. Corduroy sees him. Beelines for him, trying to get him. He hops up on the fence and then Corduroy immediately jumps up onto the bird bath. And I was like, look at them go. There was nothing in there that we could see, but it had rained. There was water. It may have gotten buried in the water.
It's so
crazy.
Weird. I need to like write a children's story about Diablo and Corduroy because it's a friendship that
for the ages.
It knows no bounds. You know?
Correct.
It's a beautiful thing.
Correct. And that's on animals.
Interspecies relationships.
Bingo, bango, bongo. Okay, I need you to tell me more about your weird social interactions on your parents' Oculus.
Yeah, pretty much right before we started recording, Tori and I were talking about our weekends. And this past weekend, I went on a little vacation with my entire family. And my parents brought their Meta Oculus. And it's technically a family. It's the family's Oculus.
Oh, yeah, it was your Christmas gift.
It was a group Christmas gift. However, the Oculus stays at my parents' house. So,
and if you will recall to an earlier episode, it has unfortunately broken other materials in the home, aka George's flat screen.
Yeah, it's the
dangerous.
It's the Oculus that is responsible for my dad punching the TV and breaking it. Well, I got a chance to use it, and I spent probably an hour in the metaverse, y'all. Spooky stuff.
She just disassociated.
It was
went right in.
Actually wild. So essentially, I put this thing on, and I went into the primary suite in the Airbnb we were staying in, and I'm tinkering around. I've never really used it except for playing Beat Saber Beat Saber.
Oh, I love that game.
Great game.
Remember the first time that you played it? I kind of want to put that video up. It was
Oh,
so
is there
funny.
a video
I have
from
a
it?
video.
Oh my gosh,
of it.
we have
You
to
were
share
so
that.
scared.
Okay, I have come a long way because I've found my bearings in the metaverse.
Thank God.
Before, it was really scary. Like I thought I was gonna fall every time I was in the metaverse. But I'm just kind of like pushing different buttons and stuff, and I end up in this area that's like, I don't even know what I pushed. It was like explore the metaverse or something like that, and I clicked NBA something or other. I don't know. I thought it was gonna play like the big basketball game that was happening, and I wanted to be like, "Hey, John, you can watch the big basketball
And
game.
you can be on the court."
Yeah, go watch it." I thought it was gonna be really cool. Well, maybe they do that. I don't know. But essentially where I was in the metaverse was this massive stadium, and you could walk. It was as if I was in a stadium, and I walked into it, saw the court, okay, and then there was a big TV behind the court, and they were playing some NBA like stuff. I don't know. Then this boy came up to me in the metaverse, and he's like, his little avatar's hopping around, and his microphone's on, and he's like, "Yeah, woohoo, hey!" And
So
I'm realizing I don't know how to turn on my microphone, so I just walk away.
He's like, "Why is this mute woman in here?"
Well, also I wasn't a woman; I was George.
He's like, "Why is this 60-year-old man not talking to me?"
So then I walk back inside the stadium area, and there's a whole basketball like play area. So there's like 3 people over there playing basketball. I go and I start playing toss with a stranger. They throw the ball at me, I catch it. So we're just throwing it back and forth, and then the first time I caught it, the person jumped in the air and did thumbs up at me, and so then we did that over and over and over again.
Wow, the simple thing.
And we kind of became friends, I guess.
Oh, we're making friends.
But then I was like, okay, like I just want to play Beat Saber. So then I didn't know how to turn the microphone on, so I just left.
You Irish goodbye.
Yeah, but again, kind of funny to think that like I just was my dad playing.
What if that kid was just coming back to that like all weekend? Like, "George,
Oh,
and you're not there."
oh, that's sad. But then I played this crazy game. So, gosh, I really wish I knew what these things were called. But basically, again, I'm in the primary suite of the Airbnb. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have the Oculus on. I can see the room. Like this, it's not, blocking it out like how when we were in the metaverse or doing lightsaber. Is it Beat Saber?
Yeah, because it's lightsabers that we use. Yeah,
Got
Beat
it.
Saber.
Okay. I can see the room, and it's like scan the room. So I walk around, I look around, and it is like learning the room. Okay. This is some scary stuff, actually.
Wait, it's learning the room, right? So to let you know not to run into things?
No, this is a whole different experience. It is documenting the room. Okay. And then I play this game that incorporates the room that I am in with the metaverse. So it's this game. I'm standing there. All of a sudden, the walls start exploding. They're boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, that'll mess your brain up.
And I see on the other side this mystical pastel world that looks so beautiful. And then these little squish balls start flying through the room, and they're coming at me, and I have to shoot them.
Were they like actual balls, or were they like the little puff ball from the Barbie movies?
They're like the little puffball from the Barbie movie, and they're going, and they're like jumping through this hole in the wall at me, coming at me, and my little things, it's like a little squish gun, so it's like splat, and then they're like bloop, 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 bloop. But they are coming at me from all angles. And so my family's just outside of this room hearing me like, "Oh no, they're all over here." Oh my God,
I wish someone recorded this.
It was wild, like the way my brain was trying to compute what was going on, because it truly looked like the walls blew up and these little squish balls were coming in. Like I thought I was gonna be able to touch them.
This feels like lucid dreaming as a kid or something.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So then I did that for a bit. That was really fun. But then I played Beat Saber for like an hour because I just kept doing this one Billie Eilish song over and over and over and over and over again until I finally got 100%. Hell yeah.
Which song was it?
Bellyache.
Ooh.
Have you ever seen what hard and expert looks like on Beat Saber?
No, I've only done moderate.
Okay, it's ridiculous. Like,
Good workout.
no, I don't even know how somebody could do it.
Well, like to attempt it, I guess would be a good workout.
I fail within 5 seconds.
Oh, that's right. It kicks you out. I forgot it doesn't let you do the whole thing.
Yeah, so I got 100% on the normal level. It's like easy, normal, hard, expert, pro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's no way I could ever do an expert pro.
How fun.
It was pretty fun. The metaverse, crazy stuff. I could see how people could like get stuck there.
Mm-hmm. What's that movie where they're like they can live in Simland?
The Matrix.
Basically, no. I'll think of it. But it's like a movie where they basically can go in like chambers like that, and that's how they do their whole day. But they are physical beings.
Oh, it's a movie?
But they all live in a simulation.
It's not like Black Mirrors?
No.
Oh.
But it's some Black Mirror shit.
Yeah. I genuinely, like, I actually kind of think it'd be fun to have the metaverse if, like, I don't know, like if Sierra also had it,
mm-hmm.
and like a long distance friend, and then you met up places in the metaverse.
Have coffee? Why not?
Yeah, because like you basically could just like sit down and be like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It was weird.
Technology.
But pretty cool. Wow. It did make me feel a little bit sick, but it's okay.
Yeah, don't do the roller coaster thing.
No.
You'll barf.
No.
It's really
I
scary.
hate that. How was your weekend with the puppies?
Perfect. So much snuggle time.
Yeah.
When they're down here, they just want to snug away, and it's all my little heart needs.
The dogs had an auntie weekend because while we were away, Auntie Tori watched the pupperoos, and she just kept sending us pictures of both of them on her laps at this laps. Both of them on multiple. Her Tori has multiple laps. It's a little scary. But both of them on her lap at the same time, just snuggling her. They love her so much.
And they were snuggling each other. They were being so good to each other.
Wow.
And Ruby, I decided, is a little weasel.
She's absolutely a weasel.
She just looks like a little weasel. Also, I went in the hot tub at one point, and Corduroy, I've never seen him do this. Maybe he does it when you're out there. He laid on the top step of the... Yeah, and he just chilled there.
Sometimes when I'm in the hot tub, I'll be out there for so long, I'll think that maybe the dogs went back inside. And when I stand up, I'll look, and then Cordy's just sleeping on the step.
I know, and then Ruby just was sitting on the bottom one just staring at us.
Oh, my God.
They're perfect.
God, they're perfect.
But yeah, they were... Yeah. Simply perfection. Can't even overstate it.
I love them. Tori and I need to talk to you guys about something, though, that gave us both a reason for emotional support. And it's quite the roller coaster, honestly, because if you guys remember last week, we were ecstatic. We were over the moon to go on our little field trip to see the movie The Materialist.
Yep. We were really hyping ourselves up.
And you know what? Big crash from that high, because that movie was some garbage. I'll tell you that. I
kind of felt like I was a little bit limbo dreaming. I didn't really talk about this afterwards, but it was a very strange experience. I think the first 15 minutes, I just kept trying to convince myself it was good.
Yeah.
And I felt like this is all just like a weird start, and like something's going to twist, something's going to happen. Nope. Just was bizarre. Not fun. The entire movie. And thank God, Reed leans over to me like 30 minutes in and finally just goes, "This is trash." And I was like, oh, thank God you said it, because the way that I was holding it in, because I also couldn't get a read on how Kiara was feeling about it. So I was like, I don't want to ruin it for her. I feel like everyone else in this movie theater is like really in. At one point I looked at someone and they were crying, and I was like, are you crying because this is so bad? Because if you're moved by this, I'm disturbed.
At what point did they cry? There was no point in the movie where any tears
at the end.
No. Wow.
And I was like, this was the stupidest ending for this. I don't even feel good about any of these people. If you haven't seen the movie and you don't want to know, skip ahead a little bit, because I kind of want to talk about the whole thing.
Yeah, because here's the thing. I got to tell you. So when I came home after the movie, John was already asleep. And before he fell asleep, I texted him and said, this movie is trash.
Oh, that's what it was. You didn't lean over to me. you showed me your phone because John was like, how's the movie? And you just typed, it's dumb. And I went, bingo.
And like something about me is I notoriously will like finish an entire TV series or an entire movie, even if it's bad. And I'll usually give it the benefit of the doubt. Like I'm like, these are elements that I liked about it, blah, 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 blah. I very rarely am like, objectively, that was bad. Mm-hmm. And so John sends back, whoa, must be horrible. And the way that I like almost pissed myself laughing the next day, telling him the plot of the movie. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Like recounting what happens in that movie
it is unreal for so many reasons.
If you don't mind, can I tell the people?
Yeah.
Can I go ahead and just share what happens in this movie?
Yes. As long as you're okay with me interjecting my thoughts.
Please do, because we just need, again, what Tori said, if you are going to go see this and you don't want it spoiled. Why can't I talk today? If you don't want it spoiled, please jump ahead. If you're on Spotify, there's an episode breakdown. You can just click a button and it'll hop you to the next section. But did you know that it does that?
Yeah.
It's so cool.
It's the good stuff.
But we're getting into it. So if you've seen it or you don't care what this movie, like you don't care to waste your money on this, stay and listen.
Welcome to the ride.
All right. So we meet Dakota. I almost said Dakota Fanning.
Dakota Johnson.
We meet Dakota Johnson's character at the very beginning. She's walking in the city. She's like, I'm a big city girl.
Her legendary bangs are out. Her hair looks phenomenal.
Hot, and she looks amazing. It's giving like made in Manhattan. It's giving
yes.
What like
you know what actually
Sweet Home Alabama.
It was giving like wedding planner.
More
that J-Lo than Maid.
But I mean, like it was giving rom-com in the very beginning. She
like nostalgic rom-com.
Yes, she's walking. A man checks her out. She stops. She pivots, turns around, and goes, "Are you single? I'm a matchmaker." Gives him her card. So this is when we first learn she's a matchmaker. She goes to her job. She seems like she really loves it. She just successfully got her 9th marriage. So she goes to the marriage or the wedding of her clients. Yes.
We were about 2 minutes in when I realized this is really bad, because when she turned around and said, "Are you single?" the line delivery was so poor that I thought this is just like that cheesy opening scene that's supposed to be kind of like fantastical and whimsical.
Yes.
No. The pace continued in that cheese.
It was just a weird, like,
it felt very monotone. It felt very robotic.
It felt like it was just disjointed, where it was like, is this a rom-com or is this a drama? Are we taking this seriously? Is there any sort of cheekiness? No, it's monotone. Like there was no like, this is going to be a cute movie. And maybe there's some great lessons in it. Like It was just, are you single? Yeah. Okay. So
Tiny here.
It starts off though, and we're like, oh, this bitch loves her job. Like, she's happy. She's successful at her job.
Yes.
Cool,
the women
cool.
were so annoying in her office.
So annoying.
It was like every fraternity or every sorority that you didn't want to be a part of was that office.
Yeah. She goes to the wedding of 2 of her clients, and we meet Pedro Pascal. And he is hot, rich, kind, a gentleman,
rocking
respectful,
the shit out of a pinky ring.
Looks wonderful. He's like really interested in her and is just like, yo, like, I don't want to be your client. I want to take you on a date. And she's like, no, you're great. So I want to hook you up with somebody.
And she starts revealing her weird math she uses, which all I could think was, who hurt you?
It was just.
And then when you find out who did her, it wasn't even that big of a hurt. So I don't understand.
It was literally that she didn't want to be poor.
Yeah, it was all her. So really, she can't claim trauma on this one. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So flash forward, Pedro and her, they date. He's wonderful.
But before her and Pedro, in walks Chris Evans at the wedding.
Correct.
He's catering it. Pedro goes, "Can I get you a drink?"
And
makes the classic,
says,
"Can I buy you a drink?" line, even though it's an open bar, right? Ha 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 ha.
She goes, "A Coke and a beer," and boom, a Coke and a beer are right in front of her, and she looks over. Chris Evans.
Hello, Captain America. He looks cute.
They like try to have some sort of chemistry, like they have a history.
Bought zero of it.
Nothing really there. We learn he is a broke actor,
Also,
broke theater actor, 37 in New York, and they had dated. Really, I didn't pick up any sort of chemistry.
No, and the self-hatred look, we're over it. I don't feel bad for a 37-year-old broke white man in New York in 2025. I'm sorry.
And he was just like, woe is me.
I'm still catering because
it's like,
I don't want to do commercials. Shut up. Do a commercial.
Or also, like, be like, I'm proud of myself for sticking to my morals and catering. There, don't put yourself down. It's okay if you're broke. It's okay if you just want to do whatever. But like him being like, I'm
also, another thing I didn't believe, Dakota Johnson smoking a cigarette. She couldn't do it right. It didn't look natural.
Okay, that was the one thing I did believe. I think she might be a cigarette smoker. But like
with one of those cigarette holders because she doesn't want to burn her fingers. Correct. She probably gets a lot of Botox around her mouth too. Yeah.
So at this point, we learn that they dated.
Mm-hmm.
Pedro finally for 5 years. We don't know yet why they broke up.
Mm-hmm.
Pedro and her end up going on a date. Wonderful, amazing, magical
montage of all these fun dates.
All these rich, expensive dates. Okay,
and like also, regardless of the rich date, like they were so much chemistry, off the charts, having so much fun. Need to note
and then
that.
She goes, buddy, I'm not who you want. I could hook you up with somebody who is 10 years younger than me. In 10 years from now, she'll look like me. Like, you're a unicorn. You are like the best client ever.
Self-sabotage.
And she's like, the math doesn't work. And he's
also,
like,
another thing, she only makes $80,000 a year in New York City as a matchmaker. I'm sorry, no.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm sorry. How do you afford to live?
Like, seriously, and I don't think anyone in this economy is making that little with that professional of a job in New York because just cost of living. Anyways, that bothered me.
That was weird. That was
like the friend's apartment.
Yes, that was weird. I'm like, you know what the cost of living is in New York, right?
Yep.
And when she's like, anyways, so she says the math doesn't work. Pedro then has a beautiful line where he's like, your value isn't in your looks or this. It's in the intangibles. You have like long-term investment. You're amazing, smart. You're smarter than me. I can learn from you. I want da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, everyone's creaming their jeans at that. Everyone wants that response.
It was amazing. Like, it was like, oh, this guy isn't a tool bag. He's like wonderful. Really loves this, like likes this woman, all this stuff.
I think he was obviously falling in love with her.
Zero red flags. They like, to me, I'm watching it and I'm like, Dakota, just like let yourself fall in love with him.
She was the red flag.
Yeah, I'm like, let yourself fall in love with him. Okay. Anyways, the movie moves on. We find out that like Chris and her, they dated, and it was like they got in a huge fight because he was poor and broke and she hated being broke. They like, there was, it just looked like they were miserable.
She's a materialist.
She's a materialist, correct.
And he doesn't care about that.
He doesn't care. But then we see her go to Chris's play. And she just went through a really traumatic experience. One of her clients got assaulted by a guy that she set her up with. And so she's going through it. She sees Chris. He's like, hey, are you okay? She starts trying to talk to him about it. And he's like dismissive. And it's like, okay, yeah. So this guy broke. He hates himself. He complains. And he also like doesn't emotionally support you. So I'm also not rooting for him.
No, also the thing that really bothered me is that before they go to the play, like Pedro like sets it up, and like I can see this happening in real life. Like, how are you doing? How's your day? Whatever. She says nothing to him about that.
Yeah, he was there.
So I'm like, you're the one who's not emotionally available enough for Pedro.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, if I had a partner and something like that had just happened, anyone that I semi-trusted that asked me about my day, I'd be like, oh my God. Which like, okay, no, they weren't supposed to talk about it because of lawyers, but like this man's rich. I bet he could have helped her get some shit moving faster.
Yeah.
You can trust this man. He's not going to tell anyone.
Yeah, and you're supposed to be dating him. Okay, so we were not rooting for Chris at all.
No.
Like there was nothing where it was like, oh my God, that's the one who got away. And the only thing in the way was that she's a materialist and he's not. Like, no, there was no chemistry. They didn't seem to even like each other. It just didn't seem like it worked.
Who's friendly is like that friendly with an ex either? It was a weird.
It was weird. It was weird. So then we see that she finds a ring in Pedro's suitcase. They're about to go to Iceland on vacation. And this is where shit gets fucking weird.
So weird.
Up until this point, it's like a pretty normal movie, you know. Okay. So we're trying to pick between these two guys. Great. At this point, I'm like, this seems like a
done deal.
Like, say goodbye to Chris. I thought she was
boy.
gonna like matchmake Chris with like one of her clients or something.
The girl who got assaulted.
Exactly.
I had that thought.
That's what I
was like,
wanted.
they'd be cute.
Okay. They're in bed, Dakota and Pedro. She leans over and she sees he's asleep. See, this is fucking weird. She sees a scar on his leg. And he wakes up, grabs his pants, throws them on, and gets really angry and runs to the kitchen.
Scoffing at her. It's also like midnight.
We've never seen him angry up until this point, and he is just instantly mad because she touched his scars on his legs.
I thought he was going to become like a deranged man.
I thought he was going to be a mean guy, like, don't touch me while I'm sleeping. I don't know.
Yes.
And she goes to the bathroom, or she goes.
I have to wake up in the morning and see the stalks.
She goes into the kitchen and sees him, and he's like, "You know what those are, don't you?" And she's like, "Yeah, I do. When did you do it?" And he's like, "I don't know, 5 years ago." They are scars because he had leg extension surgery. He got 6 inches taller, and they are so fucking weird about it.
At one point,
yeah,
they're talking. Okay, and he's like, okay, I also want to reference, they talked about this surgery.
They talked about
the leg surgery earlier in the movie, so it was supposed to be like a reference back to like, oh, men actually do this.
And that it's a good investment because women want men over 6 foot tall.
And we find out that his brother, who just married one of her clients, also did it.
Yeah.
And she's like, clearly it paid off. Like, you know, my client's in love with your brother, whatever. Like, that's fine. So you think she's down with it, which, like, who wouldn't be? He looks fine. There's clearly no issue.
Like,
who fucking cares? This man is standing in front of her and slinks down to what his height would have been. It was so embarrassing to watch. I was crawling out of my skin. I wanted it to, and then I wanted this. Okay, something else to know about this movie. The score matters.
The score of this movie. It
felt like a horror movie the entire time. So I'm thinking, oh, the score is going to clue us in that this is supposed to be funny. We're going to laugh. Nope.
There were just so many moments in this movie where it was supposed to, like, it was a funny, cheesy remark.
Give me the levity.
And then it was taken seriously. Like, fucking Pedro Pascal goes, yeah, I was 6 inches shorter. And then slowly slumps down 6 inches and goes, I would have never had the confidence to ask you out at this height. And it's like,
I would have patted him on the head and laughed.
Come on, like, this can't be serious the way that it was happening. And it just, nothing made sense. I'm telling John this and I'm like, he got leg surgery and that's why she couldn't be with him. Well,
she insists that's not why.
Yeah.
And she goes, the math isn't mathing. Like, we don't make any sense. We're not in love with each other. Out of the blue.
Yeah, out of the blue. She's like, she's like, this just makes it certain that I don't feel the way that you feel.
And
I'm not in love with you.
It's really hard to not think that it's about the legs.
And that's
fair.
Funny.
That is so fair.
Why is it? Why can't it be a rom-com?
Let it be funny.
Like, that's funny.
Make a Lord Farquaad joke. Like that lean in.
And it just was too serious. It was so weird.
Have you seen those videos or did you send that to me? I saw a video and it was a play on Lord Farquaad.
Yeah.
With the at the end when Fiona pushes down the wedding topper. I'm like, that's literally, like, we could have made this so fun.
It just was weird because from the way that they filmed this movie, it truly looked like they were falling in love, that this was her perfect man. And like, she's like, you're a unicorn and you care about the math. You got the leg extension surgery because you care about the math. And it's like, no.
Don't tell this man how he feels.
He wanted to be a little bit taller. Like, who cares?
Wish he was a baller.
And then didn't she say like her nose and boobs were fake? And he's like, yeah, I figured. And then she kind of like got a little peeved about that. And it's like,
yeah. And I was like, first off, literally, who cares? You're just calling this man out for being short and then breaking up with him out of the blue and pretending it's not like because he was a short man.
He literally had an engagement ring in his
And
back.
I'm sorry, I don't care if I wasn't in love with him yet. If Pedro Pascal, as a basically almost a billionaire, is telling me he wants to marry me, I'm in. I'm not even thinking about it.
No. And then she runs to Chris and he's just a loser.
Yeah, like, she decides because she sublet her apartment for the week while they're supposed to be in Iceland. She just fucking leaves Pedro, which was, I'd be like, at least go to Iceland and see if there's like, just because you said yes to the engagement also doesn't mean you have to get married. Like, you guys barely been hanging out. Let's just let it go. Let's see what happens. And not that no part of this was realistic. It just was.
No.
It was just bomb after bomb. There was no tying things together in the script. It was like, out of the blue something would change, and you're like, how did we get here?
Then they crash a wedding together, her and Chris, and
then I couldn't stop laughing. I think the craziness of this movie, just pure insanity, hit me at this point. They crash this wedding. I'm watching the screen, and all of a sudden I see the officiant of this wedding, and they're squinting with one eye, so one eye's open, and because the leg thing had just happened, the officiant looked 2 feet tall.
Because they were on a hill. They were at the bottom of the hill.
I was like, what is this? That is the casting choice they made. This is such a stupid scene. I look at Reed. I couldn't catch my breath. I was laughing. And you know, it's like when kids laughing in church, you're not supposed to. It makes it worse and worse. And Reed just looks at me. And for those that are listening, I'm making an inch marker with the hand. She just goes, and I go, yes. She knew exactly what I was saying. And it was just like from that point on, I took 0 parts of it seriously. I couldn't do it anymore.
It was just weird. And like, okay, so long story long, she ends up with Chris. And
it was so anticlimactic how it happens.
She settled for him. Like, I'm sorry. There was nothing that pointed in the direction that they should be together.
And I'm sorry, but you can't go from like, she tells him at that wedding they crash. She's out. It's never going to work. They're never going to align on things. Which I'll give her the points, I guess, for self-awareness. She knows I'm going to need more than this.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why you broke up the first time. Why are we back
Nothing
here?
changed.
And he's like, really? Okay. Then she gets a call from the girl that was assaulted because she's being stalked by that guy, right? They do this whole rescue mission back. He's clearly a good guy. We'll give him that. It's fine. He drives her back. He cares about the girl. He sleeps on the stoop all night while she's calming her down.
That was nice.
But they just have a conversation. She comes out in the morning. He has a whole speech planned for her about how he's going to take it seriously. And he's going to move out of his apartment with what money? I don't know.
He was like, I'll take a few more catering jobs, I guess. So this whole time,
she's like, good enough.
You had the option to be working more at your catering gig?
I would have been fine. I would have rather she just not choose either of them.
That's what I wanted.
And work her shit out.
I thought she was going to move out of New York and be like, I don't want to be a matchmaker anymore. Clearly, it's too expensive to live here.
She was going to go run that wedding venue in upstate or something and have a great life.
It didn't add up. It wasn't good.
No.
It was weird.
Oh, and then she just gets handed the job to take over the matchmaking agency, and then he proposes to her with a daisy because that somehow ties back to the first scene in the movie, which is cavemen falling in love and having the first known wedding. What?
I'm going to say it was...
I think we just took you on... Honestly, our recap was more entertaining than that movie, so don't even waste your time.
I'm going to give it a letter grade, and it's an F.
It got an 84% on Rotten Tomatoes.
These people are lying.
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days got a 44%, and tell me how that makes sense. That's a perfect movie.
Dakota Johnson looks great in silver jewelry, and her wardrobe was great, and...
I want to dress like her.
And Pedro looked beautiful.
Ugh.
But, I mean, don't get me wrong. I would still watch that movie again.
To rip it apart.
It'd apart, and also, it was visually nice.
Yeah.
You know,
it was A24 quality in terms of the cinematography and the people that they cast. Everything else bad.
Yeah, everything else just didn't like the story, didn't like the score, didn't like how much they were using close-up shots.
Yep.
It was just...
I think part of it too was that I think that A24 obviously does a lot of very indie rom-com stuff. So I could have seen that script working with unknown actors that I had no expectations on in a different way. Don't cast those three if I'm going to really not be told a very exciting story.
Yeah.
I was expecting big production. They hyped it up too much. I think if it was just some unknown 3 people and I was just let's see what this movie is about, maybe wouldn't have hated it as much.
I don't know. The leg thing really was weird to me.
Oh, it was so weird.
Also, when I think back, I should have known because there's not really any Dakota Johnson movies where I'm like, Whoa.
I know. I've spoken to multiple people that have gone to see it, and the first thing they've said to me about it, I say, how did we like it? And they said Dakota Johnson's acting fell flat.
But she's so beautiful. So
Oh, she's so beautiful.
I loved looking at her.
It just wasn't the right fit for her.
No, it needed to be.
Because she needs to be in more serious stuff, and that wasn't.
You know who I would have loved to see in this? I would have loved to see. Is her name like Haley something? She was in White Lotus season 2 in Italy.
Yes, Richardson.
Yeah,
Haley Lou Richardson.
Haley Lou Richardson would have been a fantastic cast
Cute,
for
quirky.
this because she's cute and quirky, and so like she could have like been kind of. I swear it's not about the legs kind of thing. Like it would have been
like a Kate. We needed someone like Kate Hudson circa 2003.
Exactly.
And I think Dakota was trying to play that because she was kind of being badassy, which like you think like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. That's the vibe I was thinking she was going to be, where she's like, I'm on top of my career. I'm going to do anything to do this.
Yeah, it was just weird.
I could feel that the actors themselves were confused about the part they were playing, and I don't want to feel
nobody was on the same page. No one was on the same page.
They were all 3 in different movies.
Yes, correct. Absolutely. Yes. Chris Evans was really on a different movie than everybody else. It was.
I think he was like, I'm a brooding.
Yeah,
like,
he was like on Shameless. Like he was like,
yes.
It was as if he was a Shameless character, not in this weird rom-com-ish movie. Anyways, enough on that because you know what? It doesn't deserve any more of our time.
But that's what made us collectively need emotional support.
We need emotional support from it. So what brought you emotional support this week then after that misery?
Multiple things. So I'll run through them really quickly. 1, therapy, which I had before that movie, which the movie was a good laughing release. But shout out to therapy. Thank God for it. The dogs.
Yes.
Always. And then I coordinated, it was random a few weeks ago, but I'm a wine club member at a couple wineries. I had to do a pickup, and one of the wineries I belong to has this amazing cheesecake, and they started doing their wood-fired pizzas for the summer, and so I was like, I need to go. Well, my aunt and my mom wanted to experience it because I took my grandma and my sister, so I set up a day for a multi-generational wine tasting day, which was fun.
Beautiful.
So my mom, my aunt, my great aunt, so my grandma's sister, my grandma, my sister, and I all went wine tasting. It was stupid and rainy here, which was annoying, but it was a perfect day to be out of the house doing something cozy. So we went wine tasting, and it was so fun. And the first winery we went to was my aunt's new winery that she joined, and it's family owned. And the daughter of the owner was our person in the tasting room. She was so fun.
Whoa.
So we got so much background info on everything, and she was so cute and fun, and I got us more donations for our fundraiser event. She was so fun. Yeah, it was a good day. It was really nice to be out and about. Doing that. So highly recommend having a little girl family day because it was enjoyable. Reminiscing about the old days.
I love
speaking truth. It was fun. Yeah. What brought you emotional support this week?
Well, kind of similar because I did a little vacation with my family. It was my parents, my sister's family. So my niece and nephew were there and Johnny. And it was just so wonderful to be with my family and have a good time. We got to play like board games and we went swimming all together and
it's the best.
Just, you know, the kids' jokes and laughs and
so
hanging out
goofy.
with them. It's so much fun. So that definitely brought me emotional support.
Mm-hmm.
And then another thing that like randomly brought me emotional support was I feel like the past, honestly, probably like month, maybe even more. I don't know. I've felt very like flighty and not grounded. And yesterday on our drive home from Sun River, we listened to the audiobook of Atomic Habits.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a really grounding experience. And I've never read it or listened to the book before.
Mm-hmm.
I've been recommended it multiple times and have been like, I have ADHD. I can't have a habit. So no, thanks. No, this book, fantastic. It's such a, like, it explains how we already have habits in our life that we are doing all the time. And like thinking about things instead of like a results driven like focus, it's more about like a systems focus and like identity focus. And it just resonated so much and it made me take a step back, and I'm really excited to like finish the book and also apply some of the stuff I learned in it because your girl needed to come back down to earth because I wasn't on planet Earth. I was up in the stars in the sky, just floating. So
I like things that give more like systems or holistic view, because the thing is, and I do this like once a quarter, I'm like, I'm going to have fucking routines with all this shit. It's not going to be long standing because it's not a habit forming thing. It's basically shaming myself, which is never going to work. So I've heard really good things about that book. It's also on my list. I think I heard the author on a podcast once, and I really liked how they were talking about it.
I finally was like, okay, like let's listen to it, because I listened to a podcast from somebody, I think it's called like ADHD for creatives or something like that. And it's a podcast all about like having ADHD, but being an artist or a creative. And the guy, I think it was like his 500th episode or something like that. And he's like, so clearly I have a habit. And then he talked about how transformative Atomic Habits was for him. And I've always been under the assumption where I'm like, that's for a neurotypical brain. Like that won't resonate with me. But so far, everything I'm like, oh my God, this is honestly just a perspective shift. Like so much of it isn't even necessarily like how to do something. It's just how to shift your mindset. And I really appreciated the perspective of it. So it's free on Spotify audiobooks. So highly recommend. I'm going to finish that. And yeah, I want to start like implementing a lot of that stuff. But it's cool because one of the things is like rooting it down to your identity, where we already have identity habits where it's like, oh, I'm a night owl. Like that's your identity. Or like you can better adopt new habits if you're like, oh, I'm somebody who really loves like my morning ritual. I'm somebody who really loves my morning ritual. Like changing it where it's like about you. And then it's like, okay, yeah, I enjoy my morning ritual. So I'm going to have a morning ritual.
I think too, like being neurodivergent and knowing that a source of motivation is dopamine too, you could even almost use that as like, it sounds to me like it's like finding what your motivation is.
Yes.
And leaning into that to help you further yourself rather than shame yourself for wanting dopamine or wanting things a certain way. Like we've talked about it, like why is it always just like praised to be a morning person, but I can do just as much, but I just do it at night. Like I think it sounds like it's a perspective shift of it's not one size fits all what your motivation has to be, right? We all want an end product, but the way we get there can be different, and it just needs to be healthy and grounding.
Something that
how you get there
really changed my mind in it was like where they're like, it's not about having big dreams or big goals that get you there. It's the systems and the habits that get you results. Because like, I mean, duh, but he's like, don't you think everybody who's in a race wants to win?
Yes.
Like everybody wants to win. It's what that, like not even the motivation, but like what are the practices? So it's almost more like results as a byproduct rather than your like main focus. And I really just like, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense. Because something that Tori and I have talked about is, again, two people with ADHD. We don't typically have like habits or like routine, yet here we are on our 20th episode.
Yeah, how have we gotten this far without acknowledging
We have posted it every single Wednesday for 20 weeks. What? So we clearly are able to stick with something and have a routine and have a habit. Now it's like, okay, listening to this book, I'm kind of like, oh, I want to see like what are all the things that made this true for this instance, and how can we apply that to other areas of things that I want to accomplish. But yeah, I just thought that was
so this week for our segment, we're gonna do rapid fire advice because we could get on tangents on this, but I think we're just gonna bada bing bada boom, first things that come to mind, here's your advice right back. But we asked you to submit questions, so we have quite a few of those, so we're going to go through those quickly. But the first one I wanted to bring up, because I feel like this is something that I could relate back to this, we got asked, what would you tell your mid 20-year-old self? And I think one of those is removing shame from thinking that my life has to look a certain way or look like how other people do things, because I think I was really hard on myself in my mid-20s to have hobbies, to have habits, to all these things. And I was frustrated because my brain just wouldn't do it. And instead, now that I've given myself a little more freedom, I think, to spend my time how I want to, I am so much more relaxed.
I agree. I would definitely tell my mid-20s self to have more grace for myself, and also know that like that frustrating feeling and feeling of like wanting to hurry up, it never goes away. You just get a stronger stomach for it. Like that's adult life of feeling like there's always going to be this little voice that's going to be like, oh no, this or this, like what's next, and you just get a stronger stomach for, hey, we're good, we're right here, we're exactly where we need to be. Like I think when I was in my mid-20s, I was consumed by that, just feeling that shame of, oh fuck, am I doing the right thing? Is this going to set up my future the right way? Am I doing enough for my friends, my family, my partner, like all this stuff? And it's just like, I think progressively as I get older, the continued lesson is be kind to yourself. Love yourself. Care about yourself. Be your biggest cheerleader.
And no one's thinking about what you're up to as much as you're thinking. Like, no one cares.
And even
they
if
care that you're happy, but...
And even if people are thinking about it, it's none of your business.
Yeah,
what other people think about you, it's none of your business.
And most likely you're not going to know what they're thinking anyway, so just do what you need to do. Okay, how many dogs are too many dogs?
I think after 3, it's too many.
I would fully agree, because I think that when I see someone with more than 3 dogs on leashes, I get stressed that they're going to get pulled and run.
I just think about how I'm struggling to get my dogs, aka Ruby, sorry to call you out, fully potty trained. I couldn't imagine adding one more dog to the mix, let alone 2 more dogs to the mix.
Also, the more dogs, the more potential cost.
Oh my God,
just saying. Also, it's really hard to get someone to watch more than 2 dogs. Just saying. I would do it for you, but if you had like 5 dogs, I think I'd be like, you got to split them up. I'm not taking them all.
And the amount of poop.
Ugh. And food. You'd go through like a bag of food every week.
That's so true.
Awful. No, thank you. If I had someone coming to visit to Portland, what should they absolutely do? Go to OMSI.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's so fun.
Okay.
That's not my only thing, but that would be a fun one.
I would say go to Oban, Japanese restaurant. I would say go to Jinju. They just won a James Beard Award. Incredible croissants. I would say go to one of the many amazing coffee shops, whether it be Case Study or what's the one down the street?
Albina.
Bastion,
Oh, yeah.
Albina.
I'd say do a little coffee shop tour, because you can't have too much coffee, and I love caffeine on a vacation. So if somebody is coming, I say take them to a new one every day. Depends on which cuisine you like, but I say hit up those top spots. Like, see if you can get a con reservation. Go to Jinju. Like, go to the places that have had these awards, because they do stand up to their name, and why the hell not experience it?
I would also say if they are staying for longer than like 2 days and they are not from the Pacific Northwest, go to the Gorge. You have to go to the Gorge, because it is the most fun thing ever when you take somebody, especially from like the Midwest, and drive them through the Gorge. Their mind will be blown. Oh. And Peninsula Park too, for just like, if it's during summertime, go to Peninsula Park, see all the roses.
Yeah. I got an itinerary for you. You got a long weekend. You got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Okay. The first day that they're here, take them to a fun coffee shop, take them to a museum. Portland Art Museum is fun. OMSI, something like that. You could do that if they're into that. And then you take them to somewhere fun like Con for dinner. The next day you wake up, you go to Jinju, you get yourself a croissant. You stop at Case Study, you get a matcha, you get a coffee, you head to the Gorge. Okay?
Yes.
You're exploring around. You can go to Bridal Veil. You can go up to Vista Point. You could go to Multnomah Falls. Vista House, yeah. You go to Multnomah Falls. You go to Hood River. Check out the Gorge. And then you're going to eat somewhere fun out there. You maybe if it's summertime, on your exploration out that way, you go to Sugar Pine.
Yeah, Sugar
Drive-in.
Pine.
Okay,
yeah,
you go up through the mountain. Then you're going to come back. Then the next day you're going to go to the beach because you're going to show off the fact that within one weekend you can head to the mountains and then you can head to the beach. Okay, you're going to go to Cannon Beach. You're going to go to Manzanita.
You're going to go to Manzanita.
Yep, you're going to go to Manzanita and you're going to get a pizza. I can't remember the pizza place's name, but it's really good.
I like the Mexican food there too.
Yep, and you're going to take it down to the beach and you're going to sit on a dune and you're going to sit there and you're going to soak up the rays. Then you're going to come back. And then their final day before they leave, you could go out to the valley and you could wine taste.
Yeah.
And if you're not even a wine drinker, I say still go out there because it's beautiful. There's lots of fun things to do out that way. Just saying. Get it all.
Maybe do a little walk in Forest Park.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's the thing is you could do something either in the morning or evening. You could split your day up. You could do a Portland day and a winery day. All in one.
Love it. Portland's the best.
There you go. Bada bing, bada boom. There's your itinerary.
And then
if somebody's coming to visit, what should they absolutely not do?
What should they not do? Don't go to Voodoo Donuts. Don't go to Voodoo Donuts. What are the other like things that
don't do Voodoo Donuts and you don't need to like walk around downtown.
Don't walk around downtown. Like go to the Alberta Arts District. Go to Hawthorne. Go to Division.
Mm-hmm.
Go to Belmont.
Don't go to the Saturday market.
Don't go to the West Side.
No.
Well, go to Slabtown.
Yeah, industrial area is fun. Have brunch at B-Saws. Go to G-Love. Something fun like that.
That's great. But East Side is where it's at. Yeah. Also, okay, so I feel like it's like Voodoo Donuts for sure. Don't do that.
And honestly, like Salt and Straw, don't do that either. We don't need to do like the kitschy things. Do some more fun things.
What are other things that people are like?
Portland City Grill.
Oh yeah, don't go to Portland City Grill. Don't go to even the other one. The
Departure.
Yeah, don't go to Departure. Go to Con.
Yeah, Gregory's got a better spot.
Yeah, go to Con. Don't come here if you want to go clubbing.
No, don't go to Chinatown and club.
I don't know what's happened to the clubs. I don't know if they're still there, but also Portland is not a clubbing city.
Mm-hmm. And frankly, unless there's an event going on in the waterfront, still feels overrated to me. But unless it's like cherry blossom season,
Yeah, also don't go to the waterfront.
No.
Just, again, if you're going to do that stuff, do it on the east side and you can come over and walk around.
There is a lot of really fun little spots that you can go to. I say wander. Central East Side has a lot of fun shopping.
Get on Belmont, Hawthorne, Division, Burnside, East Burnside, Alberta, Williams, Mississippi, and walk.
Yes. There's lots to see.
Like, what you should do is one day should be Northeast Portland. You hit up Mississippi, Williams, Alberta. Then you go over to do Southeast Portland. You hit up Hawthorne, Belmont, and Division.
Boom.
There you go.
Okay, another question. How to room with your bestie well. Have an upfront conversation. Well, we don't live in the same space, but I would say in our experience, I've also lived with other best friends. Have an upfront conversation before moving in together about what your boundaries are.
Yeah.
We were very honest with each other that we were like, we're going to need alone time. Just because you know I'm down here and I'm alone, or I know you're up there and alone, doesn't mean that it's free time to hang out.
You don't have 24-hour access to...
Yeah. And it's okay to say, no, I would not like to hang out right now, thanks.
Something that I've learned to be very helpful is, again, honesty with your friends. If somebody asks you to do something or like hang out, like if Tori was like, hey, you want to watch a movie together, or do you want to go like for a walk, and I wasn't feeling it, be honest and don't say like, oh no, actually I'm busy doing this. Like, I will literally say to Tori, I just really need nonverbal time. I want to be alone right now. Like, don't sugarcoat it. Just say what the real thing is, because you don't want that weird like elephant in the room where it feels like, oh, I'm sorry. Like,
yes. And then you're like, feel like you're a captive then.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if I don't want to do something with someone, like if I were like, oh, I don't feel like doing something with another person, so sorry, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to then feel like I have to just lay on the couch and not move, because I'm like, she's going to hear me. And then what if I do want to leave and go on a walk, but I just wanted her to do it alone? Then she's going to feel sad. Just be like, I don't feel like spending time with another person right now.
Yeah.
Just do that. Also, I've lived with other friends too, like in the same space, shared kitchen stuff. Don't share groceries.
No.
Don't share meals. I know it sounds really fun and all great. It starts to end up creating resentment. It's confusing. Everyone has different schedules. Just save yourself the headache.
Yeah.
Don't share things.
I'd also say if you need 2, remember we did this and I don't even remember what we agreed to. So hopefully I'm not like breaking the rules all the time and you're frustrated by it. But if you need to set up a schedule for shared things. So like we share laundry. And so at one point we were like, oh, this day will be your day. This day will be our day. Yeah. If you're feeling frustrated, don't be afraid to say, hey, it seems like, you know, we need to figure out a schedule for things. We just ended up like, it didn't work because basically what we agreed on is like, it's okay if we touch each other's clothes. Yes. So like, I'll be like, hey, Tori, I'm moving your stuff into the dryer.
And there are things that are shared that you can just decide everyone's putting in an equal amount for. Like if you're going to decide you're going to use paper towels, toilet paper from Costco, everyone just chips in their portion of it.
There you go.
Just open communication.
Open communication.
That is the key.
Yep.
Okay. And not sharing things because yikes. Let's see. What do you do to make your life 1% more whimsical?
Oh, I love that.
I like to romanticize things and I've stopped beating myself up for it. So little things like the dogs doing something funny and cute. I was just telling Reed about how Corduroy, I was laying on the couch and Ruby was laying on me and Corduroy brought his little octopus toy over and he just, his cute little eyes, and he just put it down right by my head and was looking at me like, I want you to play with me. That's how you have whimsy, is if you see those things as whimsical.
I agree. I think that my whole entire life is whimsical because I like to just be like, oh my God, I just saw a bee land on a flower. How? Yes. I was literally out back earlier today and I saw a monarch butterfly and I went, oh my God, a butterfly. Yeah. And then I followed it around my backyard just staring at it. I love that. And it was so beautiful. That's sweet. I think the biggest thing for whimsy is just noticing.
Yeah. Yes. Small things.
And laugh at the jokes that are happening in your head.
Oh my God, yes. Shout out to loyal listeners, Katie and her daughter Arlie. They listen every week. They have been doing something Katie told me the other day where she's been asking Arlie every night for the little things in her day that made her excited. And she said something the other day about like, oh, the last bite of a turkey sandwich. Oh. And I'm like, exactly.
I love that.
That's exactly it. So if you can find things like that, I think that start to put you into the practice of noticing little things like how perfect that bite is of that sandwich because it has all of the things in it, right? Or like a perfectly mixed burrito that you take a bite in that has that, or a monarch butterfly in your backyard, or a dog wanting to play, like things that are already happening in your life that I think because we don't slow down enough to notice them, it doesn't feel whimsical. Well, guess what? If it was in a A24 movie, you better believe that the score hopefully would have reflected it, the whimsy of you following that monarch butterfly around. It would have been a whole pivotal point in the story.
You want to know some whimsy I had this week?
Yes.
I don't know when I did this, but at some point I programmed the classical radio station in my radio, and I'm driving in my car listening to Bach, and it's just piano blasting out of my sound system. Sunny day, windows down, and I'm sitting at a red light just it was so whimsical. Turning on the radio and it's just classical piano hits right in the heart.
Boom, baby.
Love it.
I think, should I have butt sex was the question.
If you're curious, sure.
I think lean into the curiosity if you have a safe partner to do it with. Again, open communication.
I mean, if it's
and
consensual,
lots of lubricant.
Like, do what you want to do.
That's right. We're all for it.
We don't kink shame.
Nope. Should I get eyelash extensions? No, because your eyelashes will fall out.
Do not get eyelash extensions. Please don't. I did it one time and my eyelashes have never been the same.
Your real eyelashes will fall out and you may have a reaction to them and then you're going to look real weird.
Also, don't add another beauty tax because here's the thing.
Expensive.
Everything that we do as women, it's like all monthly payments. Like my eyebrows cost a certain amount every month. My skincare costs a certain amount. My makeup costs a certain amount. My hair costs a certain amount. And these things happen on a cyclical basis. Don't add something you don't need, like eyelashes, because let's say you do like it, or let's say you get them and then it makes it your actual eyelashes start falling out so you feel like you need them. Now you're stuck. Now every 6 weeks you got to pay $80+ for eyelashes that you already had before. Instead, get like the magnetic extensions
Yes.
or just some glue-on extensions and do it for fun.
There's ones you can get on Amazon. I don't remember what they're called, but they last for 5 days. And you can put them on
Kayla
yourself.
does those,
yeah,
right?
And it doesn't tend... I know other people that do them too. They look really good and natural, and they don't tend to rip out your actual eyelashes either. And then if you don't like them, you spent like $10 on them.
Oh, that's nice.
Another thing too, if you are wanting to have someone do something else too, I've done a tint and lift. And that's totally fine because it's my actual eyelashes. My eyelashes really hurt hold the perm serum really well though, and mine like over curled.
Yeah.
So they like were curling back into themselves. That's not a cute look. It's really hard to put eyeshadow and stuff on then because it's sticking to your eyelid. But it's a way less much of a commitment, way less expensive too.
I like the lash lift and dye. I think I prefer just doing the dye because I will say from my personal experience, I love the way the lift looks, but I also noticed some shedding from it. I don't think that my hair does well with chemicals.
Yeah.
It's just like really hard on my hair because even my eyebrows, sometimes they don't like the dye, but you know.
I would say it always feels worthwhile to me to invest in my eyebrows because
yes, I will.
It's my favorite thing.
Shout out to Ursula. We love you, our brow girl. She's the best.
Bless her. I always get compliments everywhere I go, and I'm referring everyone. Okay, let's end on a doozy.
Okay, I'm ready.
Found my mom's vibrator while making her bed. Do I bring it up to her?
No.
It depends. Can you look her in the eye still?
Well, here's the thing. Where did you find it? Was it in her bed? If it was in her bed, you could mention, hey, careful when you're getting in your bed. Your toy is still there.
Correct. Don't touch it.
But I think, your mom has needs.
Mm-hmm.
And
everyone does.
Don't make things awkward.
Here's
Just
my
let her
question.
be.
Would you want her to bring it up to you if it was reverse?
No.
And my thing is, I think if you didn't bring it up in the moment, we're not looping back.
Yeah.
We're letting it go.
Like, if in the moment you're like making the bed, and you're like, what's that? Like together.
Yes,
That's
you're like,
so
okay,
funny.
Mom, I see you.
That's funny.
Or like, oh, I haven't tried that one.
But I don't think there needs to be a conversation.
No, because it's not like she was doing anything wrong. You were helping her make her bed. That was nice. We're just moving on from it.
I've accidentally seen somebody's sex toy before. And you know what I did? Oh. Never mentioned it again.
Yes.
Never said anything. Because you know
shouldn't
what?
be weird.
Yeah. People
the
have
thing
those.
Is, people are having genital to genital sex. We're walking around. We know everyone has them on them.
You're like, oh my God, you have a vagina.
Yeah. You've had sex with that
Oh
vagina.
my
I'm so scared of
God.
it.
I'm terrified.
Not to
of it.
shame you for having the question. That's a totally fair question. I think you're good, girl.
But go tell your friends and like laugh about it.
Oh, I love those stories.
If you have a sibling, especially.
Oh, yeah. Let them have it.
That would be fun.
That's so funny.
I
Anyways.
mean, okay, here's the other thing. I was taking that as like a serious thing of like, should I say something wrong? How about Razzer?
Riff on it.
Razzer.
Yeah.
I get her. That's funny.
Yeah, there's a good opportunity that comes up for something about like, your mom's like, I'm not sleeping well or something. Be like, yeah, I know why you're not sleeping well, Mom. I saw that rabbit in your bed.
Those batteries running low.
Correct. Sounds like we need to get you a new toy.
That's funny.
But hey, good for your mom. That's
Good
all
for your
I'll
mom.
say. Okay, well, that about wraps her up. Those were some fun questions.
Those were really fun questions.
Thank you so much for asking.
so much, everybody who sent in a question. Those were so much fun.
Wide variety too, which is what I asked for. So
I
thank
thought
you
were
for
gonna
giving
go
it.
wide set vagina and a heavy flow.
I mean, maybe that's what Bob has.
Okay.
You never know.
Wow.
But I think that's all I have for this week. You have anything else?
I'll just say next week we'll talk about the secret lives of the Mormon wives.
Yes.
Tonight we had to cover the Materialist. Today we had to cover the Materialist. So,
and soon we'll be recapping potentially with a special guest after the reunion comes out.
yeah,
So
we're
be
gonna
looking
have
forward
a
to what
special
I have.
episode for the reunion.
Yes.
Also, I'm just gonna say another little shout out.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers to our 20th episode, Tori.
Seriously, I'm so proud of us.
I'm
Talk about
so-
atomic habits, baby.
I am so proud of us. We are crushing it. And
That's something else you could tell your mid-20s self. If you have an idea and you want to be creative, just do it.
do it. Yeah.
Even if
and,
it's just for yourself.
and goodbye, perfectionism.
Yeah.
Just do it. Create the thing.
Yeah. Last week, we had a busy week. I looked at Reed and I said, let's just post the episode a little later. People will still listen if they want to listen. Flexibility.
That's right.
But we still did it.
We did
Boom.
it. We did it.
Thanks for sticking with us for 20 episodes. Those of you that have listened to all of them, it's meant a lot. We probably wouldn't have. No, we may have kept doing it if no one listened. Maybe not. But you've carried us through.
Thank you. We cannot say thank you enough. We really appreciate the love and support. And we're excited for the next 20. Because you know what? We have so much fun doing this. It's a blast.
Yep.
And I can't wait to see where the next 20
it's exactly
weeks.
like half a year because we started this in January. So the rest of the year, that's our next 20.
Look at us. Look at us.
Anyways, but to keep us motivated and keep us going and empowered,
Please
subscribe,
comment, share.
Please.
That's the big thing. Because
tell
we
your friends
love you besties and we want more besties.
Yeah, we might read their fun questions on here. They get to engage with us. We're looking for different ways to engage with the peeps. So tell them to get something out of it as well.
Woo!
All right.
Have
Thanks
a great
so much.
week.
Love you all.
Interspecies relationships.
Bingo, bango, bongo.